Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're all having a great day, and apologies, I am switching between this, that and t'other. Well, that's not what I want. I don't want that to be 24 hours. We don't want to be counting down till then. Right, let's grab this and move it here because, yep, that's a thing. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Apologies for no Tuesday or Friday stream. My internet provider's having issues. There's still issues at the moment, but I'm hoping things stay stable enough for the streams. So we left off, we were still finishing off this room. So what I've done is I finished off this part of the dungeon, and I've moved some of the villagers into their little homes. And so it's a little bit darker in here, but I've got to figure out the flooring so we've got some light. And then I've continued work on, it's going to be filled with water, so I can move villagers from the breeder down here. That way I can keep the 20 villagers far enough apart that it's not going to cause problems. So I just turned back on the fog and the light level for a minute, and I'll switch it back to stream mode in a minute. How's everybody's weekend been? Hopefully you all had a great weekend and last week wasn't too bad for you. So, like I said, I built this weekend mostly. Still a lot to do. I need to make these archers look more solid, and I need to detail the bottom bits here with the cobblestone. I'll put in some more little bridges and walls, of course. So then last week I continued working on this room here, so which is very similar to the other one, except there aren't light blocks behind here, so the depth is better. But let's go options, resource packs, and put the 92 back in place. That gives us the full light level for the moment. Right, so let's grab the cobble and the tuft. Probably going to need more tuft than that. Fortunately, what saved me a lot of time today was people had extra shulker boxes full of stone, which is going to make my life this week a little easier, so I don't have to resource gather for stone. I also need to alter. I've been waxing some of these at different stages, so it doesn't look too bad. I hope. Grab those back. So, time to knock out blocks. And hopefully not fall through too many holes. Because I need to make this more rough looking. Those we'll put blocks back in afterwards. I need to figure, I'm probably going to put a staircase every so often just under one of these edges. It might look a little better with that. Hi Miss Mist, how are you doing today? Then we may bone meal a little bit of it at the bottom. Put in some weeds, etc. Once we've got it filled with water. You're hanging in there. My weekend was pretty good. I got a fair bit of building done, so I can't complain. About you? Hopefully, I know you were saying you're hanging in there, but hopefully your weekend wasn't too bad. You rested most of the weekend. Sometimes you need to. It's good to take care of yourself. I can't remember the last time I slept, so we may get visited by annoying sky rats. We'll go collect all these blocks back up afterwards, because there's no point wasting them. Doing. Well, we can't see that end, so we must be getting there. This is about 500 blocks long, give or take a couple. But what I'll do, once this is full of water, and once I've bred up what villagers I need, I'm going to use these little waterways to move them around where I need them to be. Oh, that's the thought, yeah. Yeah, definitely a long build. That's why it's taken me it took me all weekend to get this section in. I didn't get as far as I would have liked. I had to keep breaking off and go hunting for this resource or that resource. That's the nature of survival. You down. We'll put the bits back up we need to afterwards. Hi, Gashel. Yeah, the yin yang didn't get finished. We'll probably go back to it at some point. I got caught up in doing the large house in the Christmas district. This season, well, it's supposed to be a castle on top of an island, but it needs a dungeon underneath it for all the farms, etc. How are things going with your build, Gashel? And it's good to see you, by the way. If I haven't already said. Or how's life treating you in general if you're not playing much Minecraft? Right, so see how many of them landed on the top, and then we're going to have to swim as well, unfortunately. See many of the blocks on the top. It looks like most of them fell down, which is fine because we're going to go swimming and collect them. Need to come back down and put some tuft in as well, and maybe some andesite. Just to break things up. You're doing well. Not as much Minecraft since school. He's getting busy again. Doing a gibble thing build this season? Yeah, I was going to ask the same question. What is gibble? If I'm saying it right, I could be butchering the word. And because it isn't something I've heard of, it's probably going to be awesome. Hopefully school is going well. Be Japanese animation studio. Oh, that's cool. Then I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with. It's always fun to see what people build. Hi, Spoot. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Yeah, because people come up with amazing things. It's always really cool to see what somebody does and how their brain works with it. You'll send some concept art. Oh, that'll be cool. I look forward to seeing it. So we ran out of those. Okay. Let's go underneath and swim. Hey, DMC. Ah, it's Japanese Disney Pixar. Good. You just finished your tree farm. That's fantastic. I built a moss farm, only it broke. It does one line of moss. It doesn't work very well. F3B? Yeah, F3B. So I'm going to have to tear it down and start again. Find a different tutorial. So, but knowing you, your tree farm's going to be fantastic. Farms are not my strong point. Just want to rescue the blocks because I don't want to waste them. It is what it is. It's Titancraft, so it's a case of using something that's going to work on Titancraft because we all know what farms and Titancraft like. They work. You use your airworks, the rocket generator. Okay. Well, that's cool. I just used a supposedly simple one with just using comparators and so on and repeaters, bless it. But yeah, it decided, and I apologise if this makes anybody seasick, swimming backwards and forwards. Yeah, I'll have to look up another tutorial. It worked fine to begin with. For the first probably 4 or 5 times I used it. It went really well, and then all of a sudden it started going weird. Need to remember to get some depth strider boots. That's one of the villagers I still need to get. That and feather falling. It didn't make cobble. It just didn't put the moss where it should have put the moss. It was only putting the moss into 2 of the lines instead of over more of them, if you know what I mean. Because where it's supposed to do it, it does the foot. It's in the middle of it. Yeah, I need to get some feather falling book. A feather falling book. I've got a feather falling 2 boots, Eliza, but not a feather falling villager. So, or depth strider villager. So I need to grab those so I can put them on my boots. I'm not going to go end raiding until I'm sorted that way because, yeah, we all know what it's like in the end. You have them. Would I be okay to pop by and see your villagers at some point, Eliza, to trade for a couple of books? Both as a secondary trade. That's cool. It doesn't matter whether it's first or second, as long as... Awesome. Are you fine with me stopping by? Then I can grab a couple of books. Yeah, they come in handy though, do them? They do. It's just, yeah. For some reason, my villagers didn't want to give me those books. I think yes, but I don't want to just turn up and presume, if you know what I mean. You're always amazing. And if I need anything, I know all I have to do is ask, and you guys are always there with it, etc. But I don't want to be presumptuous either, if that makes sense. Thank you, Eliza. I have a whole bunch of clay I need to dig out for you guys too. I have underneath here, it is Moss Valley after Moss Valley, a lush cave, whatever you call it, all over the place. So let's put that. Oh, you're digging deep, Slate, again. Yeah, that's never fun. Because even with the beacons, you just can't. You have 5 shulkers of moss I can pinch? Let me know what you would like for it, Spoot. Put those there, because they'll come in handy, because I have a whole bunch more slabs to place. But let's grab a couple more of these. Like I say, I'm not desperate, because I still have a... Thank you very much, Spoot. I do appreciate it. If you do ever need anything, just give a yell. No, what I'm going to be building my own. It's a well, technically it's a 600 by 600 area. I'm going to build a 500 by 500 island over the top with I think about 400-ish to 500-ish dungeon underneath with a large castle on top. Well, that's a plan for this season of Titancraft. So, and well, hi, Comic Canadian. Welcome to the stream. But at the moment, it's still very much. This one's going to have the villager breeder and a zombie convertificator. The one down there is going to have a few librarians and a few other villagers that I'm going to need throughout the season. And this here is going to be the little canal I use to move them where I need them. Plus also to get around to different areas like the moss farm, the iron farm, all the other farms I'm going to need. So they're all going to live in the dungeon. Oh, that's the plan. I've been working on I've been working on the design of a castle in creative. But the dungeon is all in my head at this point in time. I think I may end up needing to make a few more of these. It's very bright at the moment, but when that's because of the resource pack I have that removes the fog and sets the brightness high. when I remove it, it'll look a lot darker down here so that it gives more of a dungeon kind of feel. If it doesn't, then I'll take out one or two more of these lights, but I need to make sure it's light enough that drowned won't spawn. Because we don't want drown in the... I'm not sure what you call the water area of a dungeon. I would call it a canal if it was above ground. But I'm not sure if that's what you would call it in a dungeon. Hey French Toast, how are you doing? Good to see you. Okay. Oh, we were okay for them. That's not too bad. But we're probably going to need about 6 stacks of those. Yeah, it kind of looks very messy, especially on the top. We're going to have to put a whole bunch of details like barrels and other bits and bobs that you'll find knocking around. Yeah, it's very, probably maybe over detailed, but we'll see. I'm hoping it'll look okay once it's done. Take 2. But rather than have you we'll go back and deal with that in a minute. So let's put these in here. What we do need is a bunch of stayers. So I've got tuft, brick, moss. Got cobble. You are what I need. Cracked. More cracked. Do I have any more cracked brick? I'm going to have to make a furnace system too. There's a chest at tunnel at 312 East. We shall... Thank you, Spoot. I will pop by shortly and grab it. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's grab 4 of you. Four of you. It won't do all of them, but it'll do some of them. See stone. I do like that we can do this instead of having to get vines. Getting vines was a pain. So we have that. Have some normal. Need some tuft. Where did I put the tuft? Some tuft brick stairs. Stone brick stairs. It would be nice if we had cracked stairs. It does make it so much easier. It's a constant, it was a pain, a real pain to have to do vines. You did it, but it's a lot easier not to have to. Right, so 1, 2, 3, crafted moss tuft. Okay, so that should do us. So we can make a few more of these archers. We'll just jump around between this and that. And then go visit spawn to pick up daily bits like iron, etc. Rather than bore you too much. Oops. Move you and let's grab you. We'll rescue you in a minute. And this should be the centre block. I've got this arched up higher so that I can put a kind of a dome ceiling on it. Try to randomise them, but for some reason I always end up falling into a pattern, whether I mean to or not. Or I begin favouring one block over the other. Which is kind of silly, but it happens. At least I've kind of got the countdown with these. I say that and I'll get it all wrong, because that's the way it works. You just think you've got to a rhythm. Hi Wildy, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Hopefully you had a good weekend. You're doing? Oh, well, I hope things get better than doing for you. I really do. Hi Mr. Doctor. Good to see you. How's your building going? Let's grab... We'll put some plain ones down. And... yep. Gives us another one. We'll do a couple more and then we'll begin to fill in the top bits. Tweakaroo? No, I don't use Tweakaroo. He's going, that's for sure. Well, hopefully it's going well. Not 100% sure what Tweakaroo is, Miss Mist. Which is how I know I don't use it. Here we go. So, that. Hi, Half Giant. Thank you for the Phantom. Perfect timing. A QL mod, client side. Okay, mods have to be checked with, yeah, you definitely got me. We have to get permission for mods, whether or not they're allowed, and I don't know whether Tweakaroo are, so it's not allowed on Titancraft. We have there's a very strict list of what is and isn't allowed. Yeah, there we go. So it's on the denied list. It probably has a feature that isn't classed as acceptable, which is fair enough. Yep, I'm kind of expecting the phantoms to appear, so yep, you definitely got me. Here we go again. I think they would learn by now. With their trying to sell viewers. Bless them. Right. We'll go back round the other side and then we'll fill in the top bits of these few we've done. Hey, dolphin emoji, how are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a good day. You're well? Awesome. That's always good. For those who aren't, well, we always hope that they get better soon. Hop. Right, so need to pop on the extra blocks. Let's just move the stairs well out of the way so I don't accidentally place them. What I do need to do is go around them and put some walls in so we can put some lights behind it. I'm not sure, because it's a block placer, and block placers are one of those things. It's why only that specific schematic thing was allowed this season. Yeah, that's right there. It's a randomizer. You never got it to work for you though. I don't know. So you need to... There must be something in it that the mods don't like. That's all I can say, because they're very... The server is very particular about what is and isn't allowed, which is fair enough. I knew that coming into it. Yep. And no, you're too high. You shouldn't be this high. It should be this high. Because this wall is supposed to be flat. Random block placer is allowed. Some schematic mods allow you to place blocks in the air, etc. That's understandable. Like I say, so it's not something I've ever really looked into. It is not right. Maybe I just haven't built it tall enough. Yep, just didn't build it tall enough. You know what it's like? I played on Titancraft for a long time. I just don't bother checking out too many mods. Not for here. It's different for my single player world. Because I had the mob heads, etc. Actually, yes. Because sometimes I think a randomizer might be handy. I guess now that you've mentioned it. Have a few more to do. Pop up the blocks. And we'll check and see how many more. You're trying the schematic thing this season, are you? The one that shows the design. That's cool. Like I say, I have no issue with them. They're just not something I ever really think about too much. I will use schematic on a test world just so that I can copy paste an idea and use it in several different block palettes. And make up my mind which I prefer best. And then that's the same for world edit. It's really useful. It makes it quicker for me to figure out ideas if I like them or not. I say that, but I spent a good number of weeks working on a plan for this season, and then I got pretty much to the end of it and decided I didn't like it after all. Because Pendle being Pendle. I may use parts of the design at some point in future. You're copying from a creative world and it's going to be hard. Oh, that's good. Yeah, because having to look at two screens and compare each block individually can be problematic at times. Especially when you've done the work already once. Thank you for the alert, Canterad. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. More tuft blocks. I'm just going to flatten the edges off and then we'll build up the peaks. And then we may see about putting part of a roof on to see if we can get a design for it. But like I say, this dungeon's all in my head anyway, so... doesn't matter too much. You get so focused on building the shape of build that randomising blocks just kind of goes out the window. Yeah. That's why I played with trying to get a shape, and then when I first did the shape, I think in the original room over there, I just made the shape in the stone and then randomised the blocks afterwards. I've only modified the shape slightly since then. Yeah, they seem to be working. Like I say, they're getting there. What I need to do is on the third block, on the middle of the blocks, so probably around here. Get it? So probably around here-ish. I want to take out a couple of blocks. And then what I'll do is I'll replace those with walls. And then put torches down here. So I have enough light shining through. to light up the ceiling. Or that's the way I'm working it at the moment. And I want it to kind of look old and battered and kind of decrepit looking, because it's a dungeon after all. It shouldn't be clean and tidy. Oh. It's why I'm glad we have the moss blocks. Okay, that gets us to there. So now we just need to build these up so that they match the others. Need to go grab some more cracked bricks. Fortunately, we've had some cooking while we've been working. There won't be a ton of them, but hopefully there'll be enough. Those. I need to put a floor in here as well. I'm just not sure whether to make it at this level or this level. My problem is I need to put some lighting in it. That gives me 45. Oh, that's giving me plenty. That's good. Or maybe I can hide lighting under decorations. You would have loved the modified schematic for your build last season, DMC. Yeah, that would have been cool for the Notre Dame. It is 3. So it's from the edge bits. Okay, so put one of you there. And then we just have the middle bits to do. I do like the way the mossy ones go with the tuft. The green seems to go well with it. So good to have that mid block. Get that right. Broken, broken. I'll see. Okay, so just this one to do, and then we'll see about if we can bring some of the roof pathway down. Just try to make sure I'm using equal amounts of each of the blocks, but it doesn't always seem to work that way. So that got us that. Almost. Got an edge here I haven't done. Side done? Yep, that side's done. Eat something before I go kersplat and die. So, because what I'll do is something similar to this with stone, moss, andesite and what have you. Trying to keep the roof of this little bit the same, but there's going to be a centre section of the dungeon that's going to be completely different. Or that's the hope. Just want somewhere to... Yeah. Grab the stone to start with, because that's the one I've got most of at the moment. We have a bunch of andesite, cobble and mossy cobble. Okay, so let's get this in first. My problem is I don't like the way the roof looks. I think it needs more variation, not of blocks but as of depth, like probably a few half slabs and stairs mixed into it as well. But I may be being overly picky. It just seems a bit flat. But then it's not exactly a natural structure, it's a man-made structure, so... Theoretically, it should be fine. But I'm not sure I'm over keen on that. So I may end up coming back through and add a bunch more detail in. But at the moment, I just want to crack on and get things actually progressing. Because I've still got the island to start building. I need to get certain parts of the dungeon done first. Just so I can have the resources I need for doing the island. I may do the odd bit of the island, but I'm not going to subject you to a long time of island building. Exactly, Miss Mist. I can always come back and detail later. It's just that some parts need the detailing. Yeah. Boxy at first and then shape. Makes sense. Further we've got a little bit further. No, I've seen your build. Your builds are fantastic. I just try and get what's in my head out into blocks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's okay. It's about having fun. Your brain just doesn't see the giant builds, whereas I struggle with the smaller ones. It always amazes me what people can do with small builds. Yeah, exactly. Throw it at it. When I get stuck, it's a case of throw blocks at it. Put blocks in, see if it works or not. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, remove them and try something different. Is the way I figure it. Eventually, something works. Like I say, I'll put this in all as stone, and then I'll come back over and add the cobble and the mossy cobble. I may even throw in some tuft, but we'll see about that. Right to have a restart. There we go. So that's going to be a minute or so before it comes back up. It's a funny story. He started out trying to build a floating light for the Asian area yesterday. Ended up with 3 giant, brightly coloured umbrellas. Nothing. That's fantastic. It really is. And it's a matter of you start with one thing and you end up with something else, but you end up with something that works. Which is awesome in my opinion. Throw things at it, see what works. It's a game of blocks. You can always take them down. That's the way I look at it. And you get them back. That would be awesome. I look forward to seeing it, Miss Mist. It's always good to see what people build. And what people say too, because I was saying about Enshrouded earlier. And Schrodinger's cat gave me a comment on the video of how to get past that block if it happens again, which is awesome because it's not something I was able to find myself. And though it might be a little cheaty, digging through the wall next to that barrier, if I can't find the mob to kill, or else if killing the mob doesn't lower the barrier next time, I will definitely use that suggestion because I've already tried to run that hollowed holes. Thank you, Miss Mist. I will take a look. So yeah, it's one of those things. I've run that, I guess you'd call it a dungeon in Shrouded, twice and not been able to get through. First time was my own fault. Second time was a game bug. Yeah, the hollowed holes are fun. It's just that I hit a bug. I killed the mob and it didn't drop the barrier. And it took the wind out of my sails for the game completely. But now that somebody's mentioned how I can get past it, if it does occur, when I record later this week, I will give it another try. Because I don't like quitting on a game. I really don't. I will leave that one there just so we can get up and down. Yeah, it's definitely early access. It's not like I'm rage quitting. As such, it was just deflating. If that makes sense. It wasn't a case of getting angry at the game because, like you say, it's early access. It was just a case of I did a lot of prep and yeah, I was expecting it to be difficult because it's not easy. When you're playing with other people, it's not supposed to be easy either. But when you're playing single player, it just took the winds out of my sails. But I'm stubborn too, so yeah, we'll go back. And now that I know there is a workaround for it, hopefully next time it won't happen. But if it does, I have an option to progress. And that makes all the difference. Just let's... Oh, wow. I love Gashel's screenshots. They look awesome. And let's have a look at yours, Miss Mist. Apologies. Oh, those umbrellas are... Yep, I like those umbrellas. Like I say, you always come up with something amazing. I really enjoyed seeing your world the other weekend. It was fantastic. Yeah, they look really good. And the world as well. I should say worlds. Figure if we get a section of this done, I feel like I've made some progress. Yeah, I can understand that. Sometimes you need a change. Just jump between them as you feel like it. We're almost halfway there with this shape of the roof. I haven't done too bad. I've definitely got back in so far, and I don't want to jinx it. I definitely got the building bug back. And I'm feeling the flow, if that makes sense. Sometimes you get into one of those grooves. But like I say, I don't want to jinx it. But then there'll be sections where I'll hit and it'll be a battle of stubbornness between me and the blocks. And a case of throwing things at it like we said earlier. Really should check the light level before I have things spawning where I don't want them to spawn. Because we don't need mobs chasing us around the roof. I can make a mob farm at the best of times, though I do try not to. I end up with torch spam everywhere. You know that one as well. Yeah. I end up with chest monsters everywhere too. It's amazing how many of those I end up with. Okay. Let's grab more stone. Like I say, we'll get a bunch of this back when we start putting in the detail block. And it'll look darker without the resource pack on that makes it look brighter. Because a dungeon shouldn't be very bright. Still got the details to put in these posts, in the centre area. Just to hide some lighting behind it. I know it's half slabbed, so things aren't going to spawn on it, but too far. Be good to have a little bit of light. I think I need to make some better holding cells though for the villagers. I know they're hanging up in cages over there, but you can't really see the villagers at all in the cage because I use the copper trapdoors. So I need to do a little bit of something. Maybe take out a couple of the trapdoors just so you can see them a bit better. Or maybe make a floor level cage instead of one hanging up from chains. Also have to look at some images of stuff that should be in dungeons so I can decorate the rooms, because I don't want to leave them bare either. I'll have a look at some history sites, etc., and see what I can spot and see what triggers an idea. It's not too bad for the masons because I can make one of the rooms can be made into a forge kind of themed thing. So the toolsmiths and the weaponsmiths and the armour smiths can live in that. Just need to corral them in that they can't wander around. And they can be beavering away in the dungeon. Even if it is a weird place for them. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want prisoners in a dungeon making the weapons you're going to use to fight your enemies or your armour. Don't think you'd have too much of a good time. But we'll see what we can come up with. Yeah, the old-fashioned torture devices for decoration, yeah. Like the rack and the Iron Maiden and other bits and bobs. Hi, Murdo. Oh, you're building... I'm glad you came back and tried again, Murdo. And you're building a cliffside town village? Oh, I'm sure it will work out. It'll be awesome to see it, Murdo. It really will. Like I say, I'm glad you're back. Well, that's the fortune one. Let's switch to the silk touch. It can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but they're a good bunch. Yeah, you go grab some tea, Miss Mist. And welcome to the stream. I know when I first thought about joining, it was at the end of a season, and it was a case of I wasn't sure because yeah, I'd only been playing Minecraft for about 10 months at that point, and it was a case of a bit intimidating, but the community is awesome and friendly. I'm more than willing to help you learn things that you need to do, and everybody helps out where they can. Which is what usually keeps people coming back, which is fantastic. So I hope it goes really well for you. And I look forward to seeing what you build. And to me, it doesn't matter if you make a mud hut, dig a 2x2. It's about having fun. That's the whole point of the game. Have fun. Okay, let's go grab some andesite. So we can put some andesite in. Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to do something big. Just do what you want to do and what you enjoy doing. That's the whole point. Just do what's fun for you. So andesite, that was here. Put that piece of cobble away that I made. So relatable. Next challenge is trying to work how to use elytra. I have no idea, but I'm bad with a boat on ice, trust me. And flying, yeah, it took me a long while to get used to flying. I tell you how I learnt to fly. Over the water, near my base. And I would, what I would do is, oh, thank you for the follow, Robbie. What I did, because I was that bad, I literally made a water park so I could climb up the steps of the water slide and jump off over the swimming pool so that if I couldn't get my wings engaged, I would land in water and live. That's literally how bad I was at trying to learn to fly. Yeah, it took me a long time to get the hang of it. And as for flying in the end, yeah, right. It's a bit easier now that they've made the changes to the game. But at one point, I'd go into the end, I'd die about 9, 10 times, and then I wouldn't go back for the rest of the season. I'm really bad at it. That sounds like a perfect plan, Murdo. Have some water sports. Do some cliff diving into the water. Just use one or two little spots that you've got for that. Oh, yep, and slow fall portions are fantastic. They give you time to keep hitting that double space bar. Safe practice area. Makes perfect sense to me. Before you know it, you'll be zooming around. Welcome back, Miss Mist. Yeah, the portions are really handy. And for the end as well, the tip that I was given about using the max wideness so that I can see out off the periphery I can always see something because I just couldn't keep the orientation right. I'd end up flying straight up and down instead of horizontal. You think, Cliff? Mm-hmm. Apologies that your message got blocked for a second. I'm not sure why. For some reason he didn't like the word water sport, which seems really weird. What can you say? That's a weird one for the auto queued mod to like. Oh, bless it. That and the tip for taking a grindstone with me in the end so that you can take the enchants off the junk armour we get for repairing your elytra as you go along. That and the bottles of XP if you can get them. A slot. Yeah, waterfalls are awesome. Tea's really good, but your throat's still all messed up. Well, I hope your throat gets better soon. That's never much fun. So you lost your voice as well, yeah. I can see why you were resting up this weekend. Understand that one. Okay, some of this needs to change. Getting a lot of individual blocks just on one bit, which isn't what I want. Seem to have made a lot of tap, tap, tap instead of Vic. Grab my ore. Run away, yep. So who else is around? Eh, okay. Grab that for slow falling portions. Pop down here and rescue these blocks. Yep. There usually is. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's not so much. At least you can escape some of the mobs. But it can mean issues with other bits and bobs. So swings and roundabouts. It all evens out. Need to go to the other side. Rescue any blocks there as well. So what I want eventually is this to go around, this canal thing to go around all four sides. Oh, that's the plan. Put this side first. But I'll try not to repeat too much when we're doing the buildings. Bits of this and bits of that. So yeah, it'll get there. Plus there'll be all the individual rooms as well. Okay, so let's get back to here and start putting in some andesite. Oh, good. The daylight's taking care of it. I'll probably have to sleep when it gets dark next time. So, yeah, there's a lot to do this season. So it's about, each of these walls are about 400 long by 400. And technically this is only half the height of the dungeon. While we're working in the dungeon, I can be building the island. Some of it I'll put on stream, but I won't put all of it on stream because that'll be very boring for you. I'll try and break it up with bits of this and bits of that. Like end raiding and other bits and bobs. Well, I'm not going to go end raiding this week. It'll probably be next week at least before I do the end raiding. Let people get their end raiding bug out of their system so that everybody has what they need first. Hopefully by next week most people will have their elytras and their backup spares and what have you. I do like that we have resetting end cities. Rifter definitely came up with some awesome magic for that one. Especially on a server this size. There's still a whole bunch of people at work. Yeah, the cities are resetting. They've been resetting since, was it yesterday or Saturday evening? I forget which. But yeah, they're now resetting. Rifter announced it. It should be in the server announcements. The way I figure it is, if I give people a week or so before I even bother going out, it'll give it a little bit more time between resets. Okay, so I can put the andesite away. Now we need cobble. 3, 4. Grab 4 stacks of cobble. We're gonna need some mossy cobble. Yes, I can just let's options resource pack. Done. How dark is it in here at the moment? Not too bad because the walls aren't sealed yet. But it should end up looking a little darker afterwards. Resource pack. Pop you back in. It's getting there. Like I say, it just needs a little bit more detail. And a little bit of shape in these pillars and over the arches. That I can hide a little bit of lighting around. I also need to, I've only done the first section kind of thing. The, for the walls. But it needs a bit more depth somewhere for it. It's not quite right. So the moment it's too one-dimensional. I may have to figure out, I need to figure out something in them. But once I've got the basic structure in, we can work on extra detailing. But I don't want it too overpowering either. You have cat saliva all over one of the monitors. You was playing a video of kittens meowing and your ginger cat wants to kiss it. Bless. Cats being cats. They're cute and they have their own way of doing things. Rescue. That's the one good thing about TPS and lag is I can leave it a little bit longer before having to go and rescue the blocks. I don't have to worry quite so soon about them despawning, so I can go rescue them. Give myself another minute or two. Detailing. But I don't want to leave them down there too long because obviously extra entities on the server isn't helpful for it. Hi, Fantabulous One. Thank you for the warden. How are you doing today? I've only been in one or two. I think is it two? I've only been in a couple of those warden cities. Yeah, and they still scare me every single time. They wanted to make a scary mob, and they definitely did. You've got to give them credit for that one. Trolls and Ravagers. I don't particularly like seeing either of them coming at me, thank you very much. Didn't mean to knock that one out, that was an andesite. Just meant to knock the stone out. He was helping Faraday clear a deep dark and heard that noise and panicked, built a scaffold to safety. Yep. I am building a dungeon that is eventually going to have an island on the top of it and a big castle on the top of it. Nerdy t-shirt. So that's the plan. At the moment I'm just working on the ceiling of... So down there, that bottom bit is going to have water in, and then we've got the walkways on the side. So I'm not sure what you'd actually call it. I'm sure it has a very technical term and it isn't a canal, but yeah, I've no idea. Right, so let's grab these blocks back and then we'll put in the new blocks. I've got F3B on so I can see them easier. Just don't want to waste the resources. Stone and cobble are very precious to me at the moment. This side done first. Better eat something. Grab these while we work our way back and then we'll go up the other side. Thank you for the reminder, Nerdy t-shirt. I do appreciate it. I need to put some more detailed stuff down here as well. I need to do put some of the Ujima what's it? Tuft. Yeah, this is Tango Tech's Patreon server. So yeah, I'm playing on there. Right. So now let's head back up and you're on Skizzer server? That's awesome. I hope you're having a lot of fun. You're having so much fun. That's great. It really is. It's always good that people are having fun. I may have to add a bunch more detail in for this. Seems very sparse at the moment. It might not be too bad after we put the normal cobble in as well. I think I'm going to have to go make some more mossy cobble. Mouse has begun to double click, and I don't like that. Yep, definitely need some more mossy cobble. I only did 2 stacks, so we're going to need to go make more. Now, at some point this week, I need to move my villager breeder closer to the wall and put it in a better decoration. It's definitely getting there. Like I say, I want to bring that kind of shape out into the pillars outside, as well as the shape up there, because I've got lighting hidden behind it. I probably hid this hole again, didn't I? Nope, I didn't this time. Well, miracles never cease. Like I say, here's a long stretch without any detailing in. Won't do. But yeah, I do need to come back afterwards and put some half slabs and maybe a couple of stairs or something in. Right in my face. Typical. I guess because it's so narrow, I kept wandering up and down. I kept missing bits because this is a long stretch. Should have more. Probably going to have to come back through, maybe Once we put the final block in, I may have to come back through a time or two again with other blocks or the same blocks just to make it feel right, because at the moment it doesn't feel right. That needs changing. That's too long of a straight line. Run out. Again. What we will do though is we'll see if we can alter some of these copper trap doors. I have some wax. I do need to set up a bee farm as well. That's another thing that can live in one of the rooms of the dungeons. Keep thinking the detailing won't take long at all, but then you forget it's 400 blocks long. Yeah, I'm missing a whole bunch of mossy cobble up there. So we'll grab another stack of mossy, get those in place, and then we'll see about if there's depending upon how much time's left, by taking care of some of the trapdoors. I want probably going to have to end up raiding Eliza's cobble store as well at some point. I'm running low on cobble. But Eliza did give me a standing invitation to raid the cobble. As long as I don't take everything, of course. Which I wouldn't do, because that'd just be mean. Need to swing by... Ooh, was it Was it who said they had some moss for me? Was it Gashel or was it... Oh, I'm terrible with names. But I'll have to check the chat so I can find out who it was. No, so it wasn't you, it was somebody else. And I'm terrible with names, so I feel bad about that. Spoot. There we go. Spoot. Sorry, Spoot. My memory's nowhere near as good as it used to be. Bless its cotton socks. Thank you, Spoot. It'll come in handy because there's a lot of mossy stuff to be placed. I got about as far as here. And hit Bella Kitty too if she's on. Okay, she knows where your stash is. Okay, thank you. Going to do, apologies, is East 312. I'll write the name down. That way I can't forget. Make life simpler. The green is okay, but I want it kind of looking dingy, and I think the green is just a little bit too much, if you know what I mean. It's not bad. I just think it just needs to be at least one stage further back. Fortunately, the copper blocks don't alter the light level on this, even though they do on the bulbs, which is cool. I do like the way you can alter the light level with those copper bulbs. Because I think they help having so many different variants of lights. Oops. Thinking about it, I need to do one other thing. I need to check the end portal room today too. I need to see how stocked up we are there. So let's make a quick run there. Should only take a couple of minutes. And then we can check if Tango's streaming today. He usually streams around the time I finish. I'm not sure if he is today or not. Let's just check here. Not announced yet anyway. Oh, that he's gone live. It usually pings us all. I want to have a quick look to see if I need to restock anything in the portal room. Hang on, did I bring that with me? I didn't bring that with me. Okay. Filter shells, but okay. Okay. I can't grab the books until I know which books, if any, are depleted. And I still haven't built this tunnel up yet, but it hasn't been a priority yet. Right. So. Okay. We're not doing too bad. Crafting tables, pumpkins. They're okay. Slow falling. We're alright. I think we're out of water. Oh, no, we're okay with water buckets. Because we're a long way out, they don't get used that much. Okay, so we're not doing too bad, so I don't have to restock those today. Got a whole bunch of stuff there in case people die, they can just grab it and re-gear up. What I do need to do when I go end raiding is get a few pairs of elytra to put up as emergency elytras in there, so that if somebody dies they can grab a backup set and fly out to recover their gear. Oh, that's the plan anyway. Okay, so let's see if Tango is streaming, because we've hit the 2-hour mark, or if not, who else is streaming, so we can send you amazing people too. And I really do appreciate your stopping by. Let's see who I've got on the list. Don't seem to have anybody on that list. You have a good evening too, and thank you for the follow, Murdo. Let's see if anybody else is streaming on Titancraft. Let me click on the screen, that would help. No, nobody on the list is streaming either. The only people I have are Mr. Joker playing Valheim, and Hypno playing, yeah, I'll send you Mr. Joker's way then. He's playing Valheim and Hypno is playing Satisfactory, so let's just grab that. So we'll send you Mr. Joker's way. Mr. Joker TV, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care and have fun, okay? Bye now.